Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yeshai. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yeshai. And this lesson will be called, If You Need to, Red Pill Yourself. Now, the reason why I've come out with this lesson, and if you don't know what a red pill is, to be red pilled simply means to be exposed to the nature of these women or other things among in the world. And when I say the nature among these women, I mean nature among these wicked women and among other things of this world. Because, Israelite sisters out there, you may be being great and all that stuff, And also, I just want to say shalom to the apostles and elders and brethren who help teach me this truth, and you're helping me grow. Now, I'm going to come out with this lesson because there are times where we may fall weak in the flesh, and we may see a woman that we like, and we may want to take her. There's nothing wrong with, having a woman, But the problem is that a woman may get in your way of doing the work. A woman may distract you from the ways of things that are not of the Lord. I know every time that I've noticed that whenever I was given a woman, I noticed that I always went off. I was always distracted from the work of the Lord. And as it says in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 3, do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. Or King James, really. Give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to which that destroyeth kings. Many kings have been destroyed by women. So why destroy yourself for a woman? For many have lost their crowns for a woman. And a matter of fact, as we can see with Solomon, KJV, where it says we're here, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 28, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not one man among, it says right here, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not one man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among those have I not found. Basically what the scripture is saying is that among 1,000 men was found one righteous man, but among 1,000 women, not one righteous woman was found. And if you keep on going, as you can see with these girls today, these insta thoughts and everything like that, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darketh her countenance like sackcloth. When we see a woman that we like, she may have a darkened countenance. She may have that whorish look to her. She may have that evil look to her. Because sometimes when you get with these women love drama. And if it goes too peaceful, they may try to wreck it up for the sake of drama. Because a lot of these women are addicted to drama. As soon as you get with her, she may already be plotting on how, really, a lot of these women are plot how to get what they can from out of you without doing anything for you. Which is where the term comes from, when men often ask women, what do you bring to the table? Because a lot of these women will come in and take everything you have, and that one would never buy anything to your relationship in the first place. So if you need to, go on, brothers, this is really for you. Brethren, if you need to, go on red pill videos so you could be red pilled on to watch out the dangers of these women today. Okay? If you need to red pill yourself, red pill yourself. I know I fall weak in the flesh, and before there was once a girl in Target, and there was once a girl in Walmart. And I had eyes for a little bit of both of them, but I knew that if I were to, and I prayed about it too, and I eventually came down with the revelation, and really just to realize, and the realization that if I were to mess with these women, they might take me away from the Lord, of course, because what ends up happening is you either have to court a woman, date a woman, or talk to a woman, and all that time can be going to spend time with the Lord. For as you see in 1 Esdras chapter 4, verse 30, and taking the crown from the king said, and setting it upon her own head, she also struck the king with her left hand. So as you can see, this woman who rises against her man, who who's a very arrogant woman for doing this, struck the king. And therefore, basically, going down on the scriptures, the king is quick to execute men if the men slap him. But however, if his woman slaps him, he is quick to forgive her, or even laugh with her. And you know, you got these women who would take the crown from a king. I'm speaking figuratively. Yeah, these women who would take the crown from a king, and then that king who has crown taken, that king will say, "Oh, yeah, you're the king now. You're the queen now. You're the ruler now." And you have men that'll do this. You know, these toxic simps, man. Seriously. Now, it says right here, I already read that. It says right here in his Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 verse 6, "Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose thine inheritance." An example is that new video that came out, WAP. Cardi B was a stripper, rose up to fame, but what's happening? You have the Cardi B sent out a vibration to these girls everywhere. Now they're doing something called a WAP or something challenge nowadays, right? And what happens is that Cardi B was saying in the song, she said certified freak 7 days a week. On top of that, she said she don't cook, she don't clean, but she got a ring on her finger. Now, what vibration do you think is going to be sent to these women everywhere? These women who are cooking and cleaning for their man may hear the song and be like, "Yo, she got a ring on her finger. How about this? I do nothing." And basically, these women are easily deceived. They're the weaker vessel, so they'll mess up on what's already good by listening to these women. For it says in Esther, King Vashti. Let me give a very good example right here. Scripture. Here we go. Thing went down. Let's read the account of Esther chapter 1 verse 12. For it says right here, King James Bible, okay? "But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command by his chamberlains," because what the king wanted to do was that let me read the whole. "But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him." Because what ended up happening was that the king wanted to show the beauty of his queen, but the queen refused to come at the king's commandment, which was very embarrassing. And if we keep going to 13, and it says here, "Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, for so was the king's man toward all that knew the law and judgment." Keep going. Right here. "And next to them was," let's read NIV. And were close to the king Karshena, Shethar, Admartha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, the 7 nobles of Persia. Media had the special access to the king and were highest in the kingdom. And if you don't know, what ended up happening was, let's keep reading actually. "And they end up saying, What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of the king, Ahasuerus, by the chamberlains." Right? And keep going. "And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Queen Vashti has not only wronged the king, but also all the princes and all the people who are in all the provinces and who are in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus." Now, if you don't know what's going on, is that Queen Vashti, by doing something as simple, not even simple, this is a woman should be obedient to her husband, but what ended up happening is because Queen Vashti was because Queen Vashti was disobedient to her husband, to the king, this ended up upsetting order. And this can throw off order. Now, if we keep going. "For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported. the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. So the reason why the king, you know, had to correct Vashti instantly and had to send Vashti away is because what ends up happening is that news spreads fast, right? And the queen not obeying the king will send a vibration to women and wives not obeying their husbands. So what do you think is especially happening in today's video of WAP? Where these girls are sending out vibrations to these girls that they don't have to cook, clean, and they don't have to bring nothing to the table in order to get married. Right? And if you keep on going, what ends up happening is Queen Vashti, she you know, she gets off, and then Esther comes in the picture, and Esther becomes the woman who ends up saving the people. If you want to read more about the book of Esther, just go take a look for yourself. So to you men, to you brethren out there, let's go to 7:7. It says right here, we get KJV. For I would that all men were even as myself, for Paul was single. But every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner, and another after that. So you brethren out there that are single, that don't have a woman, then you don't need to be looking for one. Now if passion burns in you so strongly, then fine, go get yourself a woman, For, let me get scripture right here. Passion burns strongly, then marry. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 9, KJV. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it's better to marry than to burn. And basically what it means is, when it says burn, it means lust. But if you can hold off and you don't need and you could just go off without needing to be with the one, then do that. Why add unnecessary burden to yourself? So brethren, if you need to, red pill yourself, okay? And if you don't know what red pill is, just type it in the YouTube search bar and it will come up. Alright? Anyways, shalom. All praise to Abba Hashem Mashai. And take care. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And this is the Day of Atonement. Let's go.